Mr. AJ, can I actually kill people with a gun that needs you to be within kissing distance for it to be effective?
Why, of course you can! Gather around, boys and girls, for I'll tell you how to use what I consider the easiest setup to achieve multi-kills. The Shnotty. Fret not, for I shall also show you ways of defeating it. Remember that I have both general guides and class-specific guides. Make sure to comment and subscribe, and away we go! When I say Shnotty, I'm referring to either a tactical or a heavy equipped with a shock grenade and using a melta rifle or a multi-melta. Both of these weapons are the equivalent to a shotgun in this game, so I've been calling them shotties or shotguns as well. Class setup. The only reason you should be meleeing is to force a bulwark to lower their shield so you can blast them. That's it. If they start meleeing you, do the usual and shoot between parries. For the sidearm, some people go with the Inferno pistol with a double tap idea. They shoot with Inferno first and immediately swap weapons and blast them with a multi-melta. The thing is, it feels like it only ever works on the 2 armor classes like the sniper, and I think you have to be even closer than usual. Besides, this means that you forfeit the ability to engage at any distance beside point blank. I instead recommend to go with a trusty plasma pistol. It has very good damage and accuracy, and can beat people using main weapons in the right conditions. I will talk more about it later, but this guy will assume that you're following my recommendations. Grenade combo. For the grenade, you have a wide selection of you know there's only one option! You need a grenade for your shotty. The idea is extremely simple. You throw a grenade, get into range, and just blast them. So cruel, yet so fun. In certain situations, you don't even have to blind them. The slow effect the nade has on the aiming is enough for you to get into distance. Remember to restock often though. Iron Halo and Quickscope or double nade. If you want to be a Shnotty, you can either go tactical or heavy. The heavy has the Iron Halo, which allows it to close the distance in some scenarios. Don't just go head first into the enemy, as you can be the one getting snaded, but it does open up other attacking and retreating options. I haven't thoroughly tested it, but both shotguns deal the same damage and they should kill most of the players in 2 shots, provided you're close enough. Bulwarks sometimes take 3 shots from certain angles, because I guess their shield can catch part of the projectile even if they're not looking at you. The multi-melta is better than the melta rifle. It has a faster fire rate, as long as you have it on power stance, and it feels like it has unlimited magazine and ammo. Make sure to quickscope to lose minimal mobility and have the best fire rate. The melta rifle only has 5 projectiles per magazine and it takes long to reload. There has been more than one situation where I died because I ran out of bullets. If you have enough projectiles on your magazine but you're reloading, you can swap to your sidearm and back to the melta to shoot again. The Auspex scan doesn't work as well as an Iron Halo. The only true synergy I've kind of found is to sort of block corridors when escaping by basically saying, you either let me leave or get scanned. Many people that have chosen the latter have died to me or my teammates. Don't get me wrong, marking and weakening enemies is really useful and you will still be able to use it to great effect, but the Iron Halo feels more useful for this specific playstyle. While the tactical has both the worst weapon and ability for a Shnotty, it does get to grenades and that alone puts it on par with the heavy. Dodging or running. As usual, you want to constantly be on the move in order to avoid enemy fire and nades. You will have to shoot, move until the shotgun can fire again, and repeat the process. For this you have 2 options. The first one is to shoot, dodge, and shoot again. You usually want to do this in a zigzag pattern. The advantage for this is it will be harder for people to aim at you. The disadvantage, dodging locks you into an animation which makes you have a lower fire rate and makes it harder to control your avatar sometimes. If you run, you'll be easier to hit, but you will also have more control of where you're going and will have a faster fire rate. It's worth noting that you will travel at the same speed whether you're running or dodging. Dodging and shooting can get people nervous and make them miss their shot. You only ever want to use the dodging method when closing the gap, but I also believe that there are better methods of doing so, especially snake, and if you face experienced players, it loses effectiveness. Due to this, I almost always run. Use your pistol. Similar to what I said on the assault guide, you're not forced to just use your shotgun. The Iron Halo will allow you to challenge anyone, but bulwarks and heavies on a 1v1, and the scanner also weakens them enough for you to kill them. However, since you're gonna be flanking so much, you should get plenty of opportunities to shoot people from behind or finish off enemies. Besides, the pistol makes it possible to temporarily become part of the main force. In such situations, you can assume your classical role, or try to go back to flanking sooner than later. Patience and flanking. The Shnotty requires little to no skill to use, but flanking and smart decision making are even more important. Like I said before, this is a primary flanking class, so all the flanking tips I mentioned in my general guides apply to it. You can check them out if you haven't, but the main thing is that while you're not moving as part of the main force, you should still wait for your teammates to engage so the enemy doesn't simply focus you. You will need patience to either wait around that spot and ambush players, or start going for a wider flank. One of the most disgusting things you can do with this class is to cut off the incoming reinforcement by ambushing around the corners. This will take people by surprise and decrease your chances of getting spotted or getting shot at from behind. Movement routes. If the enemy keeps trying to attack you in close quarters, just keep destroying them. But let's just assume that they aren't that dumb. Once you start killing people, they'll usually start keeping an eye out for you and be more careful in close quarter areas or just avoid them completely. Keep moving around the map and start developing routes that you can take so you get more kills and the enemy feels like you're everywhere. Include restocking stops in this route. Multi-kills. If you've been following the tips in this guide, it shouldn't be uncommon for you to find scenarios with potential for that juicy multi-kill. In such cases, you usually want to start by throwing a Shnotty, but you should throw it to the right target. For a Shnotty, the target priority is a bit different. You will try to kill the closest target, but you will throw the nade to the biggest aware player. This means that if only one person has seen you, you will throw a nade to him, but you will try to kill the closest target you have. The idea is to basically neutralize them without killing them, so you can get their teammate. Miscellaneous. While they're still a viable option, the map's breach and especially Cathedral are the worst for the shotguns due to how open some areas are and how hard it can be for you to get into range. This is the only class that can in theory beat an assault even when getting ground pounded. Shoot them with your pistol when they're flying and switch to the Shnotty at the last second. It's kind of hard to pull off and you'll usually die, but you might trade or even beat them. If a Vanguard grapples you, it should be an easy kill if you just turn around. The Shnotty is a powerful flanker, but it's not perfect. Let's discuss ways of countering those little Shnotties. Identify and locate. As soon as you die to them or you see them on the kill feed, stop going into close quarter spaces by yourself. The key to stopping them is to get them to take higher risks by making their flanks as hard as possible. Locating them is important, so as usual, pay attention to visual and audio cues. The shotguns are loud and their projectile is easy to spot. Remember their names so you can use the kill feed to have a general idea of their position, and ping or scan them if you find them. Start putting more attention on the possible flanking routes, and if a big fight breaks out, retreat to a counter-flanking position to protect the rest of your team. If you've been flanking, you might want to switch and start moving along with your main force. Ambush. The fastest way of dealing with a flank is to ambush them. It's likely that their flanking routes are corridors that make it hard for them to escape. Use this to your advantage and throw a Shnade when they're in the middle of it. If you know they're taking a specific open route, you can also pick a spot with a clear view of their path and shoot them. This works especially well with the Vanguard. Classes. Any class can counter them as long as you keep your distance or ambush them, but some kits are a bit better than others. The worst class for countering them are the Bulwark and Classical Heavy, since they're better than you in close quarters and your Iron Halo won't stop them at point blank. Classic Tactical is probably the best class to counter them, thanks to the scanner and double nade. Of course, you can also fight fire with fire. Shnotty versus Shnotty. These duels usually come down to who can blind his enemy first. If both get blinded, usually both retreat. Use your class advantages. If you're a heavy, you have a better rate of fire, extra armor, and the Iron Halo makes it possible to buck up a little and switch to your secondary in some scenarios. If you're a tactical, you won't win in a straight fight, but your extra Shnade can be all you need. That's it for now, guys. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.